Welcome back to our Bluesy Water channel. I've done several videos on using the Chi Machine, also using this Theracane, and some Electroacupuncture. So I wanted to review the purpose of these therapies, and essentially what this comes down to in body work. When I have a client on the table, I spend a lot of time on the spine itself. And everybody knows, obviously, to have a limber spine is central to yoga. It's just vital for overall health. But I want to start with something called trauma release exercises. Trauma release exercises is where you ignite a trembling in the body. I could just sort of show you here. You actually do these are the final exercises. You do what's called the butterfly rest, a hip raise, then you go back into a butterfly rest. You do that for about a minute each, and then you'll start to get a gentle trembling. And if you come over to a certain position, the body can actually just start to tremble. So this is deep in the nervous system and goes... David Berceli, the inventor of this work, discusses how we have very, very deep memories stored actually in the spine, independent of the brain. So the whole purpose of all this work that we're going to talk about today, I call it essentially, excuse my English, this is the limbic nervous system. It's actually, every morning the nervous system needs to take a dump, just like when you take a physical dump. You literally need to dump your neural network, so to speak. In computers, they call it a memory dump. And obviously with our computers, we're always constantly cleaning out, tracking memories, cache, Trojans. And you could even, the human subconscious memory is just so much like a computer. You're essentially, it appears that you're being monitored, watched, you're self-conscious, but you're told how to act, how to be. And what all you want to do essentially at a very deep, deep level is dump all the bullshit. You want to dump anything in your memory that doesn't serve you. You want to go to freedom, to clear, to zero. This is the premise of oponopono practice, back to zero. So basically you're trying to clear out the neural pathway. Now, for the memories to flow out, to move along, to essentially leave the body, the pathways need to be open. You can't have block pathways and expect an effective memory dump. So a lot of this therapy is about blocked neural pathways, which essentially equal these fixed trauma memories. So we're trying to open up the neural pathways, and when we do this, at least when I do this practice, I will notice memories literally from my life, like I'm back in an experience, intimately back, feeling it just the way I felt it when I was back in time, or whatever age. So this is essentially opening up pathways, allowing memories to come up and to essentially be purified, clean, whatever you want to call it. When you do a utility on your computer and you see afterwards you clean, thousands of files. This is the same process. As you watch the memories come up and stream, just know that that's a process of purification. And the fact that you feel them and sense them means something is happening, something is being transmuted. Now the key in all this is that it's an ongoing purification, or if you adapt this practice, you're essentially saying, I want to open up the pathways, let go of the memories. So I have a Chi Machine down here. We've shown this before. You can start to rock on the Chi Machine. Take the Theracane, and you will find you have to listen to your body. Now in this practice, you're trying to attend to where the energy is accumulating. So at first it might just feel energetic. You might not feel or sense any memories, you just might feel blocked energy. So you go back and this thing essentially slips under, you go real near your spine, be careful, do not go on your spine, and listen. I'm so used to doing this because I do this with clients, with myself, so many years. I can listen to the most nuanced buildup of energy. So right here, I'm about mid-back, and I can just feel right there, I'm on the point, and just leaning in slightly, a little leverage. Now, as soon as I feel that energy moving and I start to sense things coming up, there's a natural tendency for my head to move. We did a video on this once before. So in the trauma release exercises, if you're trembling, you're getting this wave or tremble going up the spine. Well, this kind of continues the release. You're trying to actually release a lot of the neurocircuitry in the brain. And there's a lot of actual adjustments in the bones when you start to do this. You don't want to force this. It sort of spontaneously will occur as the energy builds and it's trying to release. You might notice you want to wag your head. This is, to me, an extension of the trauma release exercises that just naturally started occurring when I did them. So the trauma release is trembling up, sending waves up the spine. Vibration, the Chi Machine is rocking the spine. I've been doing this for years, very healing. You can go back and forth, whatever you feel. This tool is actually, as you're feeling the memories arise, these are like release points to allow the memory to come up and release, both access and release. Okay, now this other tool here, Electroacupuncture, it's called the Pointer XL2. It has a milliamps and microamp settings. I'm setting it for the head, very low microamps. It has a hertz setting. I set it to around 10 hertz usually, typically. There's a sensitivity setting on this. Sorry, I have it taped up. It's been used a lot. This keeps the display from moving. Anyhow, depending on your moisture level, you set the sensitivity. So when you, again, this is similar to using this device. If you feel a meridian point in your spine, you reach back there, you hit it, and you'll sense. Do this long enough, you will start to sense like you're traveling back in your, it's like a life review almost. You really feel these, you're sensing into the memories, and then all of a sudden it's like being in a dream. This is like a hypnotherapy. It's like, call it, I mean, acupuncture really is a form of hypnotherapy if you're listening and attending to what the points bring up. Okay, so, what creates the blocks? Big question. What creates the blocks? Well, it's some trauma memory recall equals block. So you're allowing these past events where you froze to now go free. Okay, so this device, simply the same thing. You sense, like usually I work on my head, but there are many points you can work on your whole body. You can look up all the meridian charts. But again, the idea is to feel and sense. Like right here, I sense a point as I talk. And then right here, solar plexus chakra. And I can actually feel an emotional kind of comforting release as I go in here. So this is very musical. This is electroacupuncture. I really, as a musician, this is, in many ways, this is like these points that I'm going into. They ring like notes on a guitar, like if you were leaning into on a string on a guitar, and then all of a sudden the note just rings. The points are very musical. You could almost feel oxygen. Actually, electroacupuncture releases not nitric oxide, believe it or not. So there's this sort of soothing, calming, healing effect as you hit the points. Now, one thing, as you start to hit a few points, find something, listen to your body, where is it tense? Hit one point, and just enjoy, feel the energy moving, and then you'll feel it'll take you to the next point. Now, you have to learn to do this and improvise, but as you start to hit points, they will. Now, if it doesn't reveal a point, just go back and listen. But if you do this long enough, like I feel a point right here showing up, you have to listen. You're surveying your body quietly, using your imagination, your dream state mind. This is the same with clients. As soon as I start hitting a few points, their body starts to speak. Go here, go there, go here. This is being present with acupuncture as opposed to just taking a pulse and analyzing the pulse and then deciding, okay, I'm going to stick needles here, here, and here. There's nothing wrong with that, but literally being able to work on yourself as a meditation has an incredible benefit. You're getting to truly know your energy body. Where did you block? And as you listen and attend, you will start to discover these places and times in your life where you had no power, you felt you had no choice, you had to capitulate, freeze. In the animal world, you could fight, flee, or freeze. So let's say you're a big fighter type person, and all you did is fight, 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 same thing. Did you resolve? Did you find peace? Or was it war? Same thing with running. So we're all as humans fighting, running, and many of us freezing because we don't see any resolution. And if as a young person you can't run, you can't leave home, let's say, you can't leave school, you can't you can't really fight and change the system. You in many ways as humans we just freeze. We say, all right, make the best of it. It's called being socialized. But the instinctive, primitive body, it just wants to go to zero. It wants to let go. We don't teach our children. If we sent our children to school and taught them how to let go, what would they come out with? What kind of education? Instead of being filled with reactive concepts and beliefs and attachments of ego, if they were free, what kind of world would this be? So, obviously, to have a human being like that, they would not be thinking about fighting for survival. They would have some survival mechanism going, but there would not be the psychological attachment to the battle and the conquering and all this ego-bound, trauma-based, basically, behavior. To be fully human is to transcend and understand this trauma foundation that we're built upon. So we cannot fight our way out of it, believe it or not. We've had so many wars, we don't fight our way out of it. We can't run, although it's not a bad option. The person who runs into the mountains and lives alone, the hermit, the monk, that's a form of attempt to get away from all the stimulus, from all the activity, but it's still in the memory, it's still in the body. So unless you get it intimately out of your field, you're still a prisoner to the content. Alrighty, so this is intuitive. Both these tools, intuitive. You're going to rock the spine with the Chi Machine. You're going to start hitting the points. You can then do the trauma release exercises. We'll post links below to all this. The other therapy over there is the vibration machine. We've done many videos on that. That trembles the entire nervous system. And I'll just show you this real quick. This is the rapid release tool. So you use this while you're on the vibration machine. So the vibration machine trembles the body. In this case, the Chi Machine rocks the body. And this is a heavy duty, sends waves deep into the body, so you so incredible. You go with the liver, you could feel things releasing, opening up. These are kidney points right in here. Feel points. You can do the throat chakra. I was just doing the throat chakra, the thyroid. This is a very deep wave tool. You combine it while you're rocking on the Chi Machine. You can do that. You can do it just lying on the table like a bodywork session on yourself. And when you're on the vibration machine, incredible, because the vibration machine is trembling your entire body. Then you come along with this. So this releases tremendous blocked, held energy. This is a morning practice I do every morning. By the way, you go into here, here's lymph glands, lymph glands, lymph glands. Go in here, or there's lymph everywhere. You release the lymphatic system. And when you're on the vibration machine, do it together, it's amazing. You do the connective tissue. If you're gripping, you can break. If you know how to do this properly, you could break lockdown and grip. If, let's say, you have a wrist pain and it's all gripped up here, no wonder you have a wrist pain. But you go in for the surgery, carpal tunnel surgery. This is tight as can be, and nobody thinks to release all the pathways. So this is body work, deep neurophysiology. It's not that hard to learn intuitively on your own. I encourage everybody to experiment with these tools. Again, just to review, with this tool and the vibration machine, you can do the lymph system, organs, meridian points, chakras. You can do the fascia. The fascia, you got to get into the reason you're doing this. That is the memories, that is the trauma, that is the trauma freeze. You're learning to break the grip of trauma freeze, working at different levels. You have to get into the game, so to speak, feel it out, and you will start to understand it. Anybody who comes out here, we can show you this in 5 minutes, literally the basic unwinding sensibilities. Then we can train you into how to do the practice, how to unwind and let go. Alrighty, so these are wonderful limbic system somatic tools. Again, we have this, the rapid release with the vibration, or on the table. Theracane and Chi Machine, acupuncture, meridian points, meridian points, meridian points. Incredibly poetic, the story of your life as expressed. If you start to learn how to open up these meridian points and allow them to speak, it's almost like you're becoming your own mythology. You're reading a book of mythos of your own life. It speaks many ways like poetry or mythology. You're going to get senses, feelings, like you can time travel. and go back, literally, and change the paradigm of trauma to a paradigm of love, allowance, freedom. Alrighty, appreciate it. Any questions, contact me, Andrew at bluesywater.com. Thank you.